Hey you guys, welcome back. It's Erica Vetra. Happy Monday afternoon. I'm coming to you from Greenfield Lake in Wilmington, North Carolina. I'm here visiting my dad for a few days. It's been really nice to be able to spend some time together. And we're taking this really nice long walk around the lake right now, which I'm told contains a lot of alligators. So in the spirit of alligators and long walks, I would like to bring you lizard's pose. So lizard pose is a really nice thing to kind of open your hips, and there's another variation that you can do that will stretch your quads, your thighs, which is really nice if you do a lot of walking or running or cycling or anything that involves your thighs, which is really most things. So let's go ahead and come to tabletop pose, hands and knees. So I'll turn to face the side so you can see what I'm doing here. And then if you're like mid-workout, or if you've been kind of on your feet a lot up until now, go ahead and take just a few rounds of cat and cow. So just kind of inhaling to raise your hips and your head, and then kind of thinking about pushing your heart forward, getting a nice little arch into your spine. And then as you exhale, round your spine, curl your head towards your hips. Really think about exposing each vertebra, right? So this is called cat pose rather. It's like an angry Halloween cat. So just take a few rounds like that, just kind of get things a little bit loose. I like to move side to side, maybe take hip circles or rib cage circles, whatever you need. And then sometimes you can even kind of roll back and forth from child's pose all the way to tabletop pose. And when you're done, when you feel like you're ready for lizard pose, go ahead and bring your left foot in between your hands. So we're starting on the left side. Now, for the first variation of this pose, you're going to keep your right knee down on the ground. Bring both of your hands shoulder width distance inside your left foot. So you're kind of widening your lunge a little bit, so to speak, right? Heel toe your left foot out a little further to the left, and then as you sort of pull your left hip crease back, start to bend your elbows. So you might start feeling a stretch pretty soon, depending on how tight your hips are feeling today. If you want to go further, you can bend more. Just try to make sure your elbows don't bend out to the sides. You want to keep them kind of bending towards the back of your space. I was going to say the back of your mat, but chances are you probably don't have a mat right now at this particular point in time. Eventually you might make it down to your forearms. And then here, just kind of relax a little bit. Now, if you want to go a step further, you want another variation, tuck your back toes, your right toes, and then lift your right knee off of the ground. So now you get this nice straight back leg. And it's a little bit more involved, it's a little bit more of an active pose, but you're welcome to kind of try it, play around with it. You might find that you won't be able to go as deep if your leg is off the ground, if your back leg is off the ground, which is totally fine. And sometimes what I like to do is sort of just rock back and forth, really sink into the flesh of that left hip. It feels really, really nice. And then the variation that I was mentioning to you about for the thigh stretch is called king lizard pose. So as you're done with lizard's pose, come back up to straight arms, put your back knee down on the ground if it's not there already, and then what you're going to do is take your left toes, dial them just a few degrees to the left, so kind of like, 10 o'clock if you're thinking about it that way. That way your left knee starts to kind of go out to the left. Keep your right hand on the ground, and then as you're ready, look back over your left shoulder. You're going to look for your right foot, so bend your knee like this, and then if you can see your right foot, reach your left hand back to grab that foot. So some of you guys might be able to do this staying in the same position, and some of you might have to, keeping your right foot bent, take your hips back to meet your foot. So kind of just as if you were coming out of the lunge for a moment, and then that might help you reach back, grab that right foot, and then pull it forward. So you're still stretching your left hip, but now you're putting a really nice stretch into the front of your right hip and also your right thigh. And then if there's any of you that are feeling like you want more, you can go ahead and come down onto your right elbow and really just twist into it. As you're ready to release, try to do it gently, so no slingshots, no rubber bands. Make your way back to tabletop pose, just to switch sides. And it's always a nice idea if you want to take a couple of rounds of cat and cow, just kind of neutralize your spine, neutralize your hips, move around a little bit from side to side as we get set up for the next side. So bring your right foot forward, in between your hands to start, and then heel toe your right foot a little further out to the right. Both hands come inside your right foot. Now start with your back knee down at first. So plant your palms on the ground. And then this might be enough. You can just stay just like this, or just kind of gently start to bend your elbows towards the back of the room or the back of wherever you are. At the same time, your heart's going to reach forward. Maybe you make it all the way down to your forearms. If that's going well, you want to try another variation. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee off the ground, and sink as low as you can. And then at the same time, you're thinking about pressing down in the ball of your right foot. So that's really going to keep your knee up high, right? So you get that really juicy stretch right into your right hip. Think about straightening your back leg as much as possible if your back knee's off the ground. And then to try the king lizard variation, go ahead, bring your left knee back down if it's not there already. Take your right toes out to about 2 o'clock. Make sure your knees are healthy enough to do this, right? So don't ever put strain on your knees. Your right knee can kind of start to soften a little bit out, making room for your twist. Keep your left hand on the ground, and then first, start bending up your left leg. Look back first with your eyes, see if you can see your foot, and then start going for it with your right arm. Like I said, if you're almost there but you can't quite get it, come out of your lunge a little bit, take your hips, take your butt all the way back to meet your foot, and then maybe you can get the outside edge of your foot, right? Another thing that helps if you're having trouble with this part of the stretch is take a strap or some kind of, like a resistance band or anything like that, loop it around your back foot and then hold the strap to pull your foot in closer. So that'll give you the benefits of the stretch and let you kind of keep working towards it until you can grab your foot with your hand. And then, like I said, if you want a little more, you're welcome to come down onto your left elbow and then really just start to twist open. Think about opening your chest towards the ceiling. So this is also a shoulder opener. Keep sinking down in your left hip, down in your right hip. Pull your foot in towards your butt. As you're ready to release, do it slowly, gently. Make your way back to tabletop pose. And after that kind of stretch, I usually like to take a child's pose just to kind of rest for a moment, keep my spine loose. And there you go, there's lizard pose. So it's a really nice thing to do midday, mid-walk, mid-run, mid-really whatever, because it's we tend to get so tight in our hips and our low back, or at least I do, that I need to do stretches like this several times a day just to kind of keep everything moving. So feel free, it's just a couple minutes out of your day. You can do it at the beginning or the end of a workout or a yoga practice or anything. Let me know what you think if you found this helpful. Let me know if you've ever been to Wilmington, North Carolina. It's really pretty here. I'd highly recommend it. And I will see you next time. All right. Have a great day.